Welcome back to the Agely tutorial series. If you haven't already created a role-gated community or set up basic permissions, check out our previous videos first. In this episode, we'll show you how to configure your verification flows using the Agely web dashboard. This includes creating multi-step processes, customizing how logs are handled, and deciding when to automatically approve or reject users. Before opening the web dashboard, make sure you have a logs channel in Discord where Agely can send messages, embed links, and attach files. You'll also need at least one role for members who pass verification, like a verified or approved role. Additional roles can be added later. Proper permissions for Agely, especially the ability to manage webhooks, send messages, embed links, and attach files. Once you've confirmed these prerequisites, you're ready to log into the Agely dashboard. Open your browser and head to agely.xyz. In the top right, you'll see a button to log in with your Discord account. Once logged in, you'll see a list of servers that you're allowed to manage. If the bot is already on your server, you'll see a Manage Bot button. If not, there is a Invite Bot button available too. For now, we'll click the Manage Bot for your chosen server, and you'll land onto the Overview page. The first page you'll see is the General Settings tab, which shows details like your subscription plan, if any, trial usage, subscription usage, and any add-ons that you might have purchased. On the right side, you'll find a moderator role setting. This is used if you have a role that doesn't have manage roles permission and you want them to approve or reject users. You'll also see the webhook settings. This is where you can change how Agely's messages look in Discord. For instance, giving them a different display name or avatar. Remember, Agely needs the manage webhooks permission for these customizations to work. At the top of the dashboard, you'll notice multiple tabs. Next to settings, you'll find the verify flows tab. This is where you manage your verification processes. A verification workflow is simply a set of steps, like asking for date of birth, taking a selfie video, or requesting an ID, that users must go through to gain access to your community. You can set up more than one workflow if you want separate processes for different groups of people. For example, you could have a quick check for casual members and a more rigorous verification for specific roles or gated channels. If no workflow exists yet, you'll see an option to create one. Once you open or create a workflow, you'll see three main sections on the same page: defaults, steps, and auto-verify settings. Defaults control fallback settings, like where logs go to and whether auto-verify is turned on. Steps define exactly what users must do and in what order. Finally, auto-verify settings, visible only if auto-verify is enabled, define the final criteria for automatically approving or rejecting a user. We'll go through each of these sections in detail. To create a new workflow, click Add Workflow on the Verified Flows page. Give it a descriptive name, for example, Full Verification Flow. If you want it to be your default workflow, whenever somebody uses the /verify command, mark it as the default. Otherwise, you can have multiple workflows and let users choose which ones to use in specific channels. Once created, you'll see three sections: defaults, steps, and possibly auto-verify settings if you have that on. We'll go over the default section first. The default section includes the default logs channel. This is the channel where Agely sends verification logs if none is specified in a step. The default clear behavior, whether logs stay in the channel indefinitely or get removed after a set time, like 24 hours. Date of birth format, how you want users to enter their date of birth: day, month, year, or month, day, year, or any variant as long as day, month, and year are included. Enable auto-verify. This is a premium feature. This turns on the ability for Agely to automatically approve or reject users based on the workflow's criteria, rather than waiting for a moderator approval. These settings act as fallbacks. If a step doesn't specify a different logs channel or clear behavior, it will use these defaults. Now moving on to the steps section. This section outlines the actions a user must complete in sequence. Each step has its own feature, options to override logs or override clear behavior, and most importantly, a conditions area. Here's how it works. The feature. This is what the user has to do. For example, age gate, enter their date of birth; age estimation, take a selfie video and the bot will estimate their age; or ID validation, submit a redacted ID showing only their face and the date of birth. Override logs or override clear behavior, or override the notify role. If you want this step's logs to go to a specific channel or to be cleared differently than your default, or you want a specific role mentioned when the step is completed, you configure that here. Conditions. Think of these like checks of whether or not something should happen and how it should proceed. You will have an age range, and then you will have an action. The actions include none, which continues on to the next step. Assign roles. This will immediately add or remove a feature or step role. Kick. This will remove the user from the server. Ban, which bans the user from the server. Skip to step. This will jump to a specified step. You can put the step number in once you select this. End early success or end early fail. This will immediately conclude the verification, and depending on your other settings, a success might assign roles, while fail might do something else. By changing these steps and conditions together, you can create flexible workflows, ranging from a simple date of birth check to a complex multi-step process. Finally, the auto-verify settings. If Enable Auto Verify is turned on in the default section, you'll see the Auto Verify settings beneath your steps. Here's where you finalize what happens if the user meets or fails your verification criteria. The min and max age define a final cutoff for automatic approval or rejection based on the user's date of birth age. The on approve or on rejection action decide whether to assign roles, kick, or ban the user upon the final verdict. The success roles, failure roles, and age roles are roles that are automatically assigned based on the conditions that you define. The age roles are a little different in that they will be based on the user's date of birth age, and the roles will be based on the age range that you provide. So for example, you might have 13 to 17 and apply that to anybody whose date of birth age would put them between that age range. Auto-verify takes all the previous steps into account to make a final decision, ensuring users who pass this step and meet your age criteria are fully verified without a moderator's intervention. Let's build a 3-step workflow to demonstrate these features. First, we'll add a new verification workflow and name it something descriptive like we did before. Then we'll go to the steps section. The first step will be age gate. This will require the user to enter their date of birth. For conditions, we'll add a couple. For ages 0 to 12, we will set the action to kick, since Discord's terms of service specify that users must be 13 or over. For ages 13 plus, we'll select the action none. This means that if this step is passed, it will move on to the next step in the process. Step 2, which we'll add, will be age estimation. This is where the user takes a 5-second video selfie on our website and the bot estimates their age. For this, we'll add the following conditions. For ages 13 to 17, we'll select end early success. If this means that the user has provided their date of birth, saying that they're that age, and the age estimation is confirming that, so no need to move on to any other step, we'll go ahead and consider that a success. For people who are 18 to 19, we're going to have them continue on to the next step, which is ID validation. Since this age range is kind of borderline for some of the restricted channels, we'll want to have a little bit more security and check their ID. For anybody who says that they're 30 or over, we'll go ahead and end early, because that means the user said that they're over the age of 30 and the bot age estimation has confirmed that it thinks that they're over the age of 30 as well. So we're probably safe to go ahead and approve them. And finally, in step 3, we'll do ID validation. We'll enable require face match and require date of birth match to confirm that the ID matches the user's selfie and the date of birth from step 1. And then for the conditions, we'll set this minimum age 18 and we'll have it continue from here, which will go into the auto verify. Now in the auto verify section, what we will do is have that be for anybody who's 13 plus. We will add an approve role, and then we'll go ahead and set up some age roles. We'll have a 13 to 17 age role, and then we'll have an 18 plus role. Once you're done building your workflow, head back to Discord and type /send. We'll choose the verify start template and select the channel where we want the instructions posted. In this case, we'll pick verify. And then we'll pick the new workflow that we just created. Agely will now post a message outlining the steps. If someone types /verify on their own, they'll see the instructions as a private ephemeral message in chat, as long as it's the default verification workflow. This way, your community knows exactly how to begin verification. That covers the new step conditions in detail and shows how you can customize each stage of your verification process. From a basic date of birth check to advanced ID validation with face matching, the Agely dashboard gives you the power to manage it all. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time in our Agely tutorial series.